There's Army and the Fenrir getting removed there, as well as the defender bans. Again, Fenrir seeing that high uptick in the ban rate despite the recent changes. Have we got that outside wall reinforced yet, or is that still soft? It's a little bit soft on the POV. Every reinforcement has been used, so unless they've chosen to reinforce elsewhere. The hatch not reinforced either. This setup is very loose. There's a lot of potential for late round rotate here from the defenders. And a pretty significant camera game there for the roamers to keep themselves nice and safe. Reaps. Is his location known here? He's really tucked.
I mean, realistically, it shouldn't be, because he's literally standing, like, in and around mute jammers. So the drone work can be very difficult. Really, for FaZe to get anything on the board, you have to go for the mute jammers, plus the Mozzie Pest, and also a Vigil in the roam. So drone denial is the game plan for Bleed, and Bleed, you know, always try and go for a roam game. They have a couple of variations. For example, we'd see sometimes the cat can be brought in, which is quite fruitful for them, but they went for just trying to see if they can deny the drone work. Della being popped in along with a Doki call, and it looks as though it's forced away Bleed out of Garage, but Reaps eliminates Cyber. He was looking for the cutoff point. This is where Reaps is so dangerous. That aim is second to none. Another call comes in, but still, FaZe struggling against the roamers.
Souls will finally start to get a handle of things here. His leader's going to find himself taken out, but there's a challenge coming. Oven, we weren't taking any chances with that one. Back to back with Reaps there, really trying to keep control of that mid floor. Still chasing shadows upstairs. A delayed swing going to come through. Eventually going to get the job done. 2 for Souls, but he's got a few more to do. 3 kills here to find. It'd be a flawless if he pulls it off. Well, not flawless, but an ace if he pulls it off, Demo.
Difficult. Information now being fed over. Sure, there's still a Valkyrie camera up as well that can relay the information, but Bleed have him exactly where they want him. Alone, scared, with no information. All they have to do is double up, triple up, and make sure they get the trade. Don't allow him to isolate the kills. Turd, back away. We know you love a 1vx Eagle challenge, but not today. This is FaZe. This is for your spot to finally break into a top 8 international competition. Souls gets tagged up. Very little damage done through the wall. There's Turd. He does get the kill, Ollie, and look, he didn't have to pull out a pistol. He didn't have to Eagle Chow. The kill comes to him.
I mean, who'd have thought it, you know? Who'd have thought you could just get a kill normally, Turdster? No boss GA cog, no pistol. Maybe I got him in trouble with the Mentalist interview earlier. Maybe we need to reevaluate our interviewing techniques and play it a little bit safer or something. I don't know. It was the teamwork for me, especially from Bleed. Just fantastic. If you're gonna roam like that, you've got to commit to it. And on the flip side, as FaZe, you've got to commit to that clear.
Yeah, the thing that really impressed me as well about Bleed is just that little moment where we've seen one player inside of games, the other player inventably, but it was Reaps defending, and Hoven just inside of games. And, you know, Hoven was really worried that a guy was just going to swing in free storage and kill him. But Reaps is saying, you know, I've got him, don't worry. Even a flashbang comes in, he still got him. And then they make the initial plan and say, how about we hit him before he hits us? And they double swing at the same time. You know, little things like that is the team play that, you know, it's shining for Bleed. We mentioned before during the last game for Bleed, every single person was doing something. There was no weak link in the chain. Already after the first round, everyone's really doing something.
Well, round number 1 will go toward Bleed, but if there's anything we've learned from today or the many hours of Siege we've all watched, it means diddly squat. Gives them a bit of momentum, but all it means at the moment is that they need to change the sites in which they are defending. And that site is going to be up to the top floor. 2 main sites, top floor and basement, and then take your pick on the mid floor. Both are defensible. And it really comes down to a little bit of personal preference. FaZe opting to go for the Maverick to try and get this job done as opposed to the old Thatcher Thermite combination. Mainly because of the Zoto canister. It's going to be only something that will slow Maverick down, but it won't hinder his progress too much. Still be able to get a lot of that work done and then wait for someone to come through with some explosive, whether that be, in this case, the sledge, to try and get that wall open. Typically, you'd like to do that with a Rotero or a Buck or something of that nature to get it done from range, but I should still be able to get the job done and getting that breach open.
I mean, again, similar setup, pretty much the exact same setup that Bleed had used against Wolves, where they have these mirror windows that are going to be placed that obviously quite difficult to deal with if you don't have the correct lineup. You would expect the Twitch coming in, it would make quick work of it. Also, I was going to mention the Selmas, but it's been perfectly played into baiting out the Selmas of a C4 rip, eliminates the ace. Selma still goes off though, so the mirror window has been eliminated, but he got the kill. That was the important thing.
Turd going to come in with a couple of kills of his own there as Reaps, he joins into the party. The leader finishes things off. FaZe. Where's the FaZe that we know and love, Demo?
I don't know. It's
scary.
Again, you look at the setup from Bleed, it's common. It's common stuff. Bleed are just playing it really, really well. And this is what it comes down to. A team who understands the map, you know, oh so well. They'll know every situation that gets thrown at them. You know, they will know everything to do no matter what happens in the game. There'll be nothing new that'll surprise Bleed. So FaZe going here, they really needed to play at the top of their game. And right now they're not doing so. It seems very stagnant. You know, they're not moving as fast as, you know, the FaZe that we're used to seeing. The team play, refrags, being able to trade off each other is non-existent. Wouldn't worry yet, Ollie. Keep in mind this is Nighthaven, and obviously the defense usually have a much easier time. But still, you know, 2 rounds already gone. Maybe that could be a round that FaZe could have had, which could have played a vital part in the rest of this game. Also for Bleed, Ollie, I don't think the Bleed players realize how much this win would mean for Julio, especially.
Oh, it's massive, isn't it?
You know, like, they don't understand the bloodshed that he has to go through playing against these guys week in, week out.
That's where you start to look at the sort of cross-pollination that we're getting now in Siege, and it's really something that's happened, I guess, post-COVID mostly, in the international transfers and pickups and stuff. It was something that happened before COVID. Obviously, we had
EU and Brazil,
loads of different players,
you know, going everywhere. Only one thing I will say is, if you notice that nobody's picking up NA people. That's so we know. When was that? Have we ever actually seen an NA to somewhere else transfer?
Listen,
apart from like Mexico.
No one's picking up an NA player, mate.
Telling you.
It's not happening. But if you're an EU player or a Brazilian player, you're hot property and you get sent out all over the world. Great C4 there from Leader.
You can't Maverick trick on this map. You can't do it. It's so easy to line up. All of the walls, Ollie, you would not believe, are just the easiest. I don't know what it is about Nighthaven. On other maps, it's actually sometimes hit or miss, but always in Nighthaven, you're always able just to C4 the Maverick. I don't know what it is. It just seems to be this map is where they always happen.
A bit of a slow peek here and potential. KDS needs to keep an eye on things here. I see him really locked into this engagement. Neither player really wanting to move too much. Reaps and Hoven, they get involved. KDS and Souls do fight back, though. Mentalist caught out there. The diffuser is still in Bitter King's hands as well. Not the worst position to be in right now for FaZe, but they are still a man down.
Yeah, and they don't have any information also. Another thing to think about is about the information. How are you going to be able to double up and look for a weakness? EDS, he's kind of hovering everywhere, aiming everywhere. Still players above the verticality. Will deny them access in towards A. It's going to be more in towards B, I think, that they're going to try and target. And King just going to have to try and maybe make a jump in, but really difficult. KDS has somehow slipped his way in towards storage. And he's not the one with the diffuser. It's going to be King who's going for a really long run all the way towards the cargo window. He'll hop in. I mentioned before that A's going to be a no-go with the player still above, and maybe he's going to try and risk it. Reaps finds KDS, who was inside of storage. What's going on with FaZe? That's... I'm puzzled. Very puzzled.
Yeah, they don't seem to be playing their own game right now. They're getting caught out at every single hurdle. Bitter King will win that duel against leader, but the Vert is too strong. Real matter of time stuff. You can see how much this one means to Julio. It's usually the players on Bleed that are getting hyped up, but in this instance, Julio is the one with the whooping and the hollering. FaZe absolutely mudded into an early tactical timeout as well, Demo.
I've leaned back in my chair all day. I'm just trying to think about why have they went for that. So obviously, trying to get into A is going to be a no-go because you have all those vertical angles that can be held. KDS has been able to get inside of storage, which is obviously where they want to be to get the diffuser down. But then the player who could have simply jumped in the window, attempted a plant, has rotated all the way round to the other side of the map, away from his teammate, trying to go into the bomb site that we already mentioned is going to be a no-go to get into. It's just, I don't know. I don't know.
Bit baffling, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what the timeout's going to do here.
Did they talk to... It didn't even feel as though they talked to each other. KD should be said, I'm in storage. Come plant. But just nothing happened.
Let's see how the timeout has affected FaZe. I mean, the way that they've been playing so far, it's been very disjointed. We've not seen anywhere near that level of synergy that's required. And on the flip side, the synergy on Bleed has looked excellent.
Anytime so I think somebody gets killed, there's a kill straight back for Bleed.
It's immediate, isn't it? They're swinging everything as a duo. There's always an answer. There's always a crossfire. There's always an idea of how you can trade someone out. I think for FaZe, it might be a case where they've just seen, look, something's desperately going wrong. Because to take a timeout after the first 3 rounds is fairly unusual. The reason being, if the defenders have won the first 3 rounds, they've got to go back to the same 3 sites. And they're probably going to go back to them in the same order. So you should be able to figure out something in between that time. You've already seen this setup, so you can go, right, well, they did this last time, so let's do that. Now, for there to be a timeout taken, that tells me that there's something a little bit deeper that's going wrong on the team. Just needing that moment to focus and get their heads back in the game. See if it works for them.
So they should have an understanding of what they're dealing with. You know, this roam game that was so potent for Bleed. You would expect that seeing, you know, a Vigil, a Mozzie be brought again, that it should be something similar. They've brought in the IQ to try and hunt this Vigil, which, again, I don't mind. I think it's a good way, obviously, of trying to hunt that Vigil, where an operator like Deimos just could not do that, because Vigil's immune to him. So there is always a counterplay. Leader kicked things off with a C4. Cyber, gone. 0-4 was trying to look to entry in towards that mid floor, but has ended up... Actually, I think the top floor, but has ended up being blown right into the sky. But they're actually trying to clear the roamers, Ollie, from the very top floor, and then using vertical angles to root them away from storage, root them away from the staircases, and just force them back into sight. But we know Bleed, they're not just going to give up that easily. And what a swing from Reaps. This sky right now, Ollie, is on a mad one.
One of those games where Reaps just pops off continuously. 5-0 at the minute. Hoven 5-2. It just comes down to the old, they're not winning gunfights, and FaZe, they're not only are they not winning gunfights, they're not setting up for that trade, they're not setting up for what if they don't win the gunfight. Pillay is just walking in blindly. Handy. Taken out there, but immediately traded out. That's better from FaZe, but at what point is the damage a little bit too far gone? You're attacking this basement. There's 50 seconds left, and only now the ram's starting to go in. Okay, we can start to clear a bit of utility. Maybe we can make something happen. Get a drone set up, see if we can start to stabilize on some sort of flank. There's plenty of drones going out there. You can see KDS is flicking through the drones down there. Maybe realizing that there's nothing too good. But if there's any information that can be gleaned, they will find it.
Great position for Leader to be in. Knows that they have to try and push him. As long as he stays crouched, they cannot kill him. That baits the players into dropping, and Reaps will pick up an easy kill. And Soul's in the same position. He has to just take that engagement against the player behind the cabinet. But Turd... Oh, Turd, there we go. I was worried there for a minute. He might have missed his chance, but thankfully still gets the kill. And Bleed, Ollie, they're running away with this.
You don't even need to look down, do you, to see who it is? You just see somebody running up. You see like a silhouette of a K1A and a Vigil player outline. You just think, yeah, I don't need to check who's playing Vigil. It's our guy Turd.
Yep. Bleed just are having fun, aren't they? They're smiling, having fun with each
They're
other.
a vibes team.
They are honestly, and they're really good friends. Like, I know that for a fact. Is that they? I mean, even losing Asphy was really difficult for them. You know, because they've teamed with him for so long, and you know the unionship that Bleed have. But I mean, Leader's just slotted in a dream, hasn't he?
Yeah, certainly seems that way from the outside looking in. Everything working well for Bleed, which sometimes is what you need. You know, if you're having good fun, the siege, it just sort of starts to happen, doesn't it? See if they can continue this form. 4-0 right now. Definitely wasn't expecting this. I tell you what, I can't watch a night even with FaZe playing and not think of the SI Grand Final either.
Oh, yeah, heartbreaking.
Like the memories on this map for that team. I mean, they play Night Haven hundreds of times, so it's one game out of many, but it's a game that meant so much.
Yeah,
and you just think to yourself, is that knocking around in the back of the head every time they play it?
Yeah, it feels as though they're trying to like make up for it, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, we lost Night Haven one time. It was the most important time. Now we have to go and win 100 times to make up for it. That was the grandeur of the circumstances. What was Reach? Hello? Are we well?
I thought this was dead easy, Demo.
It is dead easy. What's he doing? Maybe he hasn't moved the mouse enough.
You were going on like this was the easiest thing in the world.
They baited him this time, so all credits to FaZe. They've learned from their mistakes. They're not letting the Maverick get killed this time. But yeah, worried there for Reacher a little bit. But still, I think Bleed are more than happy to, you know, give up those breaches because they'd like to focus in the mirror windows. That's going to be the issue that obviously FaZe need to try and get through. In terms of Selma's only the one, but Ollie, they do have the Ash and the Sophia, or just the Ash that they can use. Obviously to clear away. Even you can stun. You can also use the Selma charge and then use the Sophia to stun the bandit off if you try to go for a bandit trick, for example. If you kind of struggle with the Ash charges.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple of options here for FaZe. It's one of the better rounds that we've seen from them so far. This pocket reinforcement could hurt them a little bit though.
Ball reinforced.
One Selma remaining. Nomad caught out in the goo mine. The goo mine's really starting to provide a lot of value now as you do start to worry about that backstab coming through. A little bit of a hot flash over. Air jab sent out. Is it going to detonate in time? Yes, it is. But the swing's there. It's the teamwork again. But it's being fought for tooth and nail by FaZe. Cyber and Vita King, they've stormed on through. Leader, along with Turd, trying to battle back. They've leveled it up to a 2 versus 2, 45 seconds, but they're deep inside of A. Really tucked into the command center. The C4 comes out. It's going to be short.
Oh.
Doesn't get enough value out of that. A very reckless swing from Vita, but it works out for him. He takes Turd down. Now they should be able to stabilize and get the plan, but Cyber, how does he find that angle?
Oh, so close from that C4 hitting, but thankfully FaZe stay alive. I mean, Cyber stepped up massively in that round. Ollie was getting trades, obviously got those important kills. The only thing you probably said about Bleed is obviously, you know, Turd seen him cross. Maybe should he have tried to rotate into Garage and then swing from the IT door onto the player in the corner? Is that maybe an option that could have happened for him?
It's definitely possible, isn't it?
We need a what if. We need a what if for Siege. Can somebody make it?
You do wonder about that engagement with Turd and Vita if he just played it a little bit differently. I know he was desperately trying to get the C4 out there, and it makes sense. You've got to get the C4 out. You can't die with it in your pocket. That's no good.
I would love a what if. What if King George never retired? Where would we be? What would have happened?
I mean, he's the most successful Six Invitational player of all times.
So true.
Played 1-1-1.
10 seconds.
In fact, didn't we debunk this? Has somebody else not played 1-1-1 now?
5 seconds.
Well, it'll be one of the new boys.
Yeah.
Would have been...
Out to defuse a
I think it was, was it not someone on G2?
No.
Or in fact, everybody on G2.
Well, it used to be Benja, but then obviously Benja played second SI, didn't he?
Yeah.
Might have been Furia. I don't know. Probably... Nah, because... No, probably Nade or something, was it? I don't know. Probably was Nade. I think it might be Nade.
Reloading ammo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Nade. Nade's also played 1-on-1-1.
Attackers have dropped the bomb
There you go.
diffuser.
Some facts for you. Nade or King George? I know who I'm picking.
You won't hear a thing.
KG every time.
All day of the week. A little bit chilly KDS. Uses all of the Selmas on the garage wall ollie also. All gone. They have the Maverick to try and open up the main one. But like I mentioned, the C4s, they are ever present. Hey, see, this is what I mean. It is this map. I don't know what it is about this map. Are you a believer now, Ollie? Do you believe me?
I believe you. And the C4 meta has changed significantly since the lineup edition.
Honestly, like, Maverick's just got a massive side nerf. You didn't even think about it. Whenever it was implemented, there's no way would you have thought, oh, it's going to really hurt the Maverick players. So
No,
also
he's just catching strays.
Souls appeared in Garage. 3 kills in Garage.
This is why he's the GOAT. Out of nowhere, Souls can just pick 3 kills up, and now the round is... It is phases to lose right now. He's still got 4 Candelas as well. He's literally walked in and picked 2 kills for nothing. He's not cost him a single penny. Oven. Pinched from both sides. Souls on a quad. That's going to do something to fire up FaZe here.
He got a quad without moving his feet. He literally stayed on the stairs the entire round. And just picked up kill after kill after kill. My word. And one
It's
thing
business
as well,
as usual.
and one thing you have to look at from Bleed that round is that's a round that we certainly seen a few times during their qualifier run. Was one thing goes wrong, somebody's fell asleep, somebody's let something happen, and Bleed have really struggled to react to it, and it just went from bad to worse.
It's one round out of many, though, isn't it? Bleed have played lights out throughout the first couple of rounds. FaZe getting a couple on the board. It was always going to happen at some point. I think it all matters now on the response. The 2-4 half. The good half for both teams, really. Could have been better from FaZe. I think they were very, very soft in the first 3. They could have played those a little bit harder, and they could have contested a little bit more that timeout. It wasn't necessarily a strategy timeout. It felt a lot more like the fundamentals are wrong. You guys haven't got your heads in the game sort of timeout. Now it's on Bleed to kick us off their attack and show us what they can do. Going to be a very similar lineup from both sides, although we do have the mirror and the Vulcan shields this time, so a lot of time drain. Not loads to deal with it. You've got the Zephyr, which you can, of course, go below with. But expending Selmas on mirror windows when there's hard walls to be opened and no pocket gadget isn't the most ideal.
Walls open that. First pick. I was in favor of FaZe, but immediately see the trade. A 4v4. But like I mentioned, walled open. That is the main principle, of course, for Bleed that they wanted to look at. However, Ollie, I just worry, how are they going to deal with the mirror windows? They only have 1 Selma left. Well, they still have to maybe try and open up IT Breach, which, as we can see, is still shut. May cause a few issues for Bleed. It's going to be difficult.
Do have the wall open so they can start to make something happen with that. A bit of information here as well. They know that the mirror window is going to be in position. I really like this position from Reaps because the player below Mentalist is able to disrupt any of these defenders. Reaps has got a really good job of catching someone on the cross, and he's actually quite safe here.
Oh. Just as you say. He's the player. glimpse past the screen, but to no regard. A C4! Reaps dodges it. Turns there to give the cover, but Vinny King still ends up finding the player that they wanted to kill. Reaps off the board. 3v3, still equal footing. That mirror window in garage is going to be disabled. Don't know if it's been popped open yet, but it has been smashed. Still smashed as it stands. Turd, looking for that long angle. I will know his presence there, but look at this push. Two players stacking up in towards FaZe. Sophia stun into the back of the computers. We'll try and make the push up, but this is difficult. A lot of crossfire, a lot of angles you have to worry about. Vinny King eliminates leader, a free fire round with the Sophia, but a massive whiff. It's actually a flank from Vinny King coming up from bottom fish. My oh my. I mean, Bleed almost look as though they can maybe push in there, but you gotta hit your shots, fellas.
Yeah, not ideal there. There were a couple of shots missed. I think if those shots had have hit, maybe it would have been a little bit different. Reaps got really unfortunate because Turd was behind him there, giving him great cover. But, and it's a big but, Turd had to dip away to reload, and that's what allowed Vita King to hit that swing. I think the C4 went long. And Turd there, obviously, with the cover, he got the kill onto Souls, but you can see just as he dips back, Reaps immediately gets swung by Vita King. So, some great timing from FaZe, some good timed aggression. But equally, a bit of misfortune. Start to question, did Turd really need to hit that reload at that time? He had a few bullets in the mag. Maybe he could have held out a little bit longer, provided a bit more cover for Reaps to do something. But even then, you're kind of clutching at straws. 4-3 right now then for Bleed. FaZe successful on their first defense will take us down to the basement for round number 8.
5 seconds left before insertion. Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
FaZe started things off well on the defense, and now they're on a bit of a run. Only 3 rounds in a row. All of a sudden, that big gap that Bleed had caused is not so big now. FaZe have certainly found their rhythm and found their groove. This is where the Brazilians can start to take over. That momentum that we mentioned with FaZe can be devastating if you give them that opportunity. And it's up to Bleed to see if they can try and stop that. Bandit trick though, that's the first thing, Ollie, that they have to try and get through. Again, always a night Aven, Ollie. All about the hard breach, all about the walls.
Plenty of ways you can try and deal with this, especially with the tools that you have. Got the IQ can go below and cause a little bit of disruption. Remove the batteries and try and open up a bit of the floor and stop the bandit from being there. Rotero drone's always a good candidate as well. That's a prep for a bit of a hop in here. We could be looking at something a little bit quick because Hoven, he's going to jump himself in, but immediately get taken out. FaZe, they were ready and waiting for this. Mentalist, he's going to get a consolation prize. That's all it was. Banshee going to give him away there, and another mirror window to greet him. Not often you see the mirror window placed there, but it's going to be a great bit of information to stop that push. Turd, however, will level things up. So at the halfway point, we're all square.
Then back and forth, back and forth. As I say that, it's going to be FaZe at the upper hand again against Bleed. Third and leader now having to do the hard work. All 3 players of FaZe are going to be situated upstairs now as this is a decision. See if Bleed actually want to try and attack the players above. Diffuser is in hands of leader. He may try and get his way in towards storage and go for that safe plant, but it's difficult with those vertical angles being held. See a player looking down on towards that game room's door. Also trying to watch the window and the doorway. The bomb site fires more shots. Turd has to be careful. He's on very low HP, and now we'll rotate around and see if he can assist his teammate, who is slowly but surely trying to work his way through into the bomb site. We need to make a move. That timer is slowly ticking down. Leader is going to go for the option of let's walk in and see if we can try and get tucked in towards storage, but there's 2 guns ready on the vertical angles. Now they're going to change their man again, Ollie. There's too much flip-flopping for my liking here.
Yeah, they don't know what to do. They're a little bit unsure. It's going to be a contributing factors of lack of information, being outnumbered, and the defense just being able to hold the common angles, hold those walk-up spots. Oh, great shot there from leader through the floor. Is he going to be able to try and get the plant down now? There is going to be Vert immediately above him, so he does have to be careful. We've got a mirror and a shotgun. A drop comes through from Vita King. Perfectly timed, and there's just too much for Turdster to watch. He can't watch everything. Handy. He's going to take him out there. Not that it would have mattered. And that is going to be the cue for the Bleed tactical timeout.
Really difficult for Bleed in that round, but again, just the decision making. They just didn't know what they wanted to go for. Do we want to push upstairs? Do we want to plant in storage? Do we want to move to the other side? And like you said, too much for Turd to watch. You know, there's no way Turd can cover every single vertical angle in that position. So, rightly so, FaZe, they will deservedly win that round. They played the strat well. They know if you just sit above and hold the vert angles, you'll have no issue at all with defending that bomb site. And FaZe, as much as what we praised Bleed for winning 4 in a row, FaZe have just said, have that right back at you. And now FaZe, I just think they're in the driving seat, Ollie, aren't they? You know, the momentum's behind them. You don't see them slowing down. They're on the favorable side of winning the defense. Again, Bleed against Wolves, a little bit shaky here and there on their attacks also. It took them a while to get that win. So it just seems to be, you know, I'm not trying to do a pun, but it's just FaZe up right now, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You send your FaZe ups in the air. Like you just don't care. Is that what we do?
Maybe, maybe not.
What's Bleed? You can surely make a B with your fingers. Might not be as good. The FaZe one's just perfect though, isn't it? It just makes so much sense. 4-4. Who'd have thought we'd end up here after Bleed's incredible start? Well, this is Nighthaven. It can be a tough nut to crack. Bleed is certainly finding that at the moment. Down to the basement we go.
5 seconds left.
FaZe are currently taking us on a bit of a tour here on Nighthaven. Round number 9. And the more that you let FaZe get into a game, the better they get as well. They're not a team to lose out on that mental game, that's for sure. We've had a fairly quiet day out of Cyber as well, Demo. You were bigging him up earlier.
I was.
3 and 6. I've got my own little hot take.
Yeah.
I put him in the nest. Mate, he's in the nest camp for me.
Yeah, wake up. Wake up, sunshine.
I tell you, he's in the nest camp.
This fella was in an SI Grand Final. What are you on about?
Reloading.
Nest's had an SI Grand Final.
Yeah, like 50 years ago.
Well, like 3 years ago.
Still, this was more recent. Stop living in the past. This is coming from a G2 fan.
Oh dear. Turd. Is it madness? Or is it brilliance? He's crouch walk his way all the way down XO. He's about to get himself into the site. He's probably just going to be able to shoot off whatever electrification there is there. But instead, no, turns away. Reaps and Leader, they're doing the hard work for him. His job now is to catch somebody as they rotate back down into sight. Gets a good couple of points of damage in, and that's going to throw a cat among the pigeons. You've now got a Fox in the coop. You've got an attacker in the site, and there's been no openings at all. Turd. He'll fall, but it's caused the chaos that was required, and Vitaking is left on 1 HP. KDS. Does he go for a rotation here? Does he try and make something happen? Is it going to be a hero play? Or is the round just going to peter out? As he is 1 versus 4, the diffuser juggled. Not even sure if the walls are actually open yet. I think it might just be the hatch.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
And there's no way that Bleed can mess this one up, surely. There we go. Hoven from the hatch. I was getting a little bit nervy there for a minute. I thought they were just all going to pile in down the hatch, but instead, they played it right. They had loads of time to work with. Turd might not look like he'd done loads there, but he caused a lot of chaos.
Kind of look at, you know, Turd. I still think he'd done nothing. He was in the perfect position that we've seen, but realistically, it's the rest of his team were just doing their own thing. Like, but that's Turd. It's you know, Turd going for that play. And it almost feels as though that's like the fail-safe. If things aren't working too well for, just let Turd go, see if he can do something, because they needed to change. Maybe the change is just let Turd off the leash. Where again, we mentioned before about Turd, he can either be the hero or the zero. That's the way he kind of works sometimes.
See, I think even though he didn't do anything, if he knows where they aren't, then they've got an idea of where they are.
10
Right.
seconds left.
He's not taking any harm.
Well, it's like, for example, I know my dad currently is not in the house. That does not mean I know where he is.
Attacker's objective is to defuse the bomb.
I'm sorry just to break your philosophy there. I wouldn't say that's nailed on, Ollie.
But you're talking about the context of the world.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the context of a video game map.
But still, the point stands.
It doesn't. It
He could
definitely
be anywhere.
doesn't.
Okay,
It
for
don't-
example, my dad's in my let's say my mom's in the house. I cannot tell you for sure where my mom is. I could take a guess, but that's not a guarantee.
But you know where she isn't. She's not in the room that you're in.
That's correct. But that's one room out of a lot of rooms.
Well, then there are also rooms that she just won't be.
I don't know that. You don't know. You don't, look,
But also, imagine if there was 5 of your mum in the house.
And anyway, we're going to continue on with
Now we're getting
commentary.
somewhere.
We're going to go to the
Attackers dropped
commentary.
the diffuser.
And the vote on the
Attackers
wall.
recovered the bomb diffuser.
Why do you do this?
Oh, look, Deimos.
Oh. Hey.
We had a bit of Deimos action. Cyber getting tracked out there by the death mark.
See, they do know where he is this time. Like, they know for a fact where he is.
And they know where he isn't.
Oh.
Is he going to try and rotate up? No, he's really just trying to... He's played that quite well, actually, because the death mark expired at a great time. Mentalist, he pays the price. Oh, the C4's going to land as well. No, he just walks out of range. There's a bit of damage there to Reaps, and Reaps does need to be cautious now, but Cyber, death marked or not, doesn't matter. He's still deadly.
All 5 of them are available as well. It's not often you see that. Every player can be tracked. The pick his target, he has to figure out. Never mind, he's got none left. He's out of it. Oh, Hovind just swings into the shotgun. Leader with 1, maybe a second. It'll be a trade-off for Leader. 2 with him before he peers out, but still an advantage for FaZe.
Attackers bomb diffuser has been
Great
dropped.
shot from Viking. With that shotgun. Now Turd. The 1v3. Has the R4C in hand. Can he make it happen? A lot of angles he has to check. A lot of long angles he needs to check. And Viking, once more, is there to finish it off. FaZe, back at it. 5-5.
Could this be the comeback for FaZe? It'd be very like Bleed if they were to get so far in a game and then just not be able to get it over the line at the end. We've talked about this team previously struggling on a match point. They've not been able to get onto a match point yet. Well, they went up. And now they're on the way back down. FaZe on the flip side, it feels like they're just getting started right now. They're going to take the lead for the first... Oh, sorry, level things up at 5-5. 1 round away from taking the lead. 2 rounds away from closing the game. Just goes to show you can never count a team like FaZe out.
I mean, obviously, on this stream, we've had no overtimes at all today, Ollie, in any of our games, and it certainly feels as though this is probably going to be the first one we have.
Left.
And I think it's only right. Both these teams playing exceptionally
5
well.
seconds to go.
I've been really impressed, especially with the defensive work. Maybe not so much in the attacks. I think that's
Moving out
obvious,
to
but
locate a bomb and
the way the teams are defending has been clinical. Maybe that's why the attacks haven't been as good. Is just that the defense has been just that strong.
Using shield.
Yeah, the defense have really had the run of the teeth here today. Bit of a line of sight going to get opened here as I'm going to be looking in toward that mid-floor site. Oven. I feel like Bleed have tried a bit of everything as well. They've tried the slow and steady. They've tried that aggressive rush.
Bomb diffuser.
Everything's been met with a very similar response. Really is just like they've gone to sleep since getting on the attack. They're also not really bringing any operators that are going to help them establish a beachhead. We're not seeing the Capitao, we're not seeing the Bees, we're not seeing a Ying even. I don't feel like they've got much to help them get into the building and get control. There's such a focus on this roam clear with the Deimos being played. No Dokkaebi, no Lion. I don't know, I feel like Bleed a little bit stale in their op pick at the minute.
Yeah, a bit of a rut, feels like, but now we're kind of at the position where they're taking the operators that they feel comfortable in, you know, more than anything. See how they can crack the code. Oh, good start as Hoven's been down. I don't exactly know where that is. Is that a Frostmat? Looks as though it is, but Bleed respond with 2 kills in return. And now FaZe, really for the first time we've seen in the defensive half, where they really don't look too strong now because they're the team who have that man disadvantage.
Still opportunity for FaZe to hold on here. Cyber checking absolutely everything.
Yeah, you know,
Vitikin just gets caught.
Don't swing Reaps!
Not on a tight angle like that. The attitude from Bleed of just sort of opening up a few options and seeing what happens is really working quite well, because FaZe they've tried to work quite hard for that refrag. They've worked hard to get it down to, or at least to try and get it to a 3 versus 3, and it isn't working out for them. Everything that they peek at the moment, there's just a Bleed gun on the other end of things. Oh, nice pinch coming in here. Soul's caught out on the death mark. He's able to grab one. Got a chance of a second here, but just misses the shot. Cyber, meanwhile, will take down Reaps and is left in the clutch here. He's got some live information right now. Great shot over onto Leader. And then with 3 seconds left, Cyber's just got to keep himself alive. What? Doesn't even need to go for the challenge. Wrap it up, Demo.
What has happened there for Bleed? A complete bottle job. They've allowed Cyber just to walk around the site. Time running low. They're so headlocked into trying to eliminate the player above, and by the time they had finished him, it was like, oh, guys, we only have 10 seconds. We need to do something quick, quick, quick. Felt as though the time just got away from them. They were so headlocked in just to trying to deal with the players above that they just completely forget that there is a 6th man. The timer. My
Massive
word.
shame there for Bleed. I feel like that was their opportunity to get onto a match point. And they've just let it slip.
Activating jammer.
And it's not really anyone in particular's fault. They just really wasted a lot of the time. I think FaZe did a really good job in the final few seconds, mainly Cyber. But up until that point, they were just peeking everything and getting punished for it.
10 seconds remaining.
Wall fortified.
5 seconds left.
Deployed.
Boy, oh boy.
Attacker's objective is
I mean,
to
that's the
locate a
moment
bomb and defuse
for Bleed. If Bleed go on to lose this next round, that's the moment where they say, that's where we lost the game.
Jammer initiated.
It's that round for me. That's the moment.
Torches out.
a bomb.
I mean, it just sets up FaZe nicely now, just to clean up with a basement. The Bleed. Pressure on them once again. They could have been the team leading here 6-5. But it is what it is.
Changing mags.
Look at this setup, Ollie. We've got a hefty lineup of roamers. We've got the mirror inside a storage with the windows looking in towards the server room, trying to hold on to garage. We've got a vigil top floor roaming. I believe your castle is over in towards vending machine. There's a lot here that Blade have to try and wade through. He will bring in the Dokkaebi to see if they can assist with hunting these roamers, especially that vigil.
Yeah, not going to be easy at the moment, is it? Bleed, we know that they struggle with the clock a little bit. They struggled with the clock in the last round, and with all these little problems to solve, they've got to decide very quickly if they're going to go direct or if they are going to start to try and hunt these players. They are seeming to be going on the hunt right now. Going to start to get this hatch open and see if there's anything that they can work on through that. Castle barricade will be dealt with by the Selma.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
the plan at the moment
Setting
still
breach
remains
charge.
a little bit unclear. Drone is going to go down. It looks as though Reaps is desperately trying to
they're gonna
shed
go
all
for
of
it.
his utility and just go for a bit of a hop down. He left the diffuser upstairs, used his breaching charges, used a Selma. Now he's just going to try and make something happen on the site. But as we know, there aren't that many players in the site right now. We do have KDS. Bitter King, he's going to be the first victim there. Reaps able to take him out. Leader joins in with those players flooding through. It's now time for FaZe to try and get themselves back onto the site or regain some of that vertical control and ease up some of the pressure on the site player.
This is treacherous for both teams. One wrong step by either of them and it could result in their team losing the round. The player is going to be above Reaps. Seen the legs. Now goes deep at C4, goes right past his ears. But he's able to find KDS. Mentalist with a great play moves into the other site where there's going to be no vertical holes available to him. Souls is right beside the defuse planner, but he has no idea. Shots are rattling back and forth, but Mentalist sends it to OT. Bleed, great decision making, great opportunity spotting. Seeing that the site is so bare, like you said, Ollie, Reaps is going to dump all his utility and just go for it. You know, he's nothing to lose. And Reaps steps up, 2 kills, kills both the players in sight. My goodness, what a round.
Big round from Bleed, exactly when they needed to take this game into an overtime. We've said a few times today that we want to see these games go a little bit longer, and finally we are going to get it, Demo. Nice calculated play. You could see that mid-round adjustment there. Once they'd found out, right, we've got a little bit of control. We've got some space inside a garage to work with. If we drop the hatch, we can probably make something work here. Worked out a treat for him. Question is, what side do each team get in the OT? Bleed started off on the defense, didn't they?
Yes. Correct. Well done.
Well done
start.
for remembering what happened all that time ago.
That's it.
The only reason I mention it is because it's been a very defender-sided map, hasn't it? We've only seen a couple of rounds won by the attackers. Each team has won 2 rounds on the attack and 4 rounds on the defense to get us into this overtime. Maybe nobody knows. Maybe that's why we're paused.
That's true.
Maybe we're trying to figure out. Maybe they're tossing the coin right now.
They could be. Bear with
Healer's
us,
just going to
so-
run over and go
Get in.
tails. Tails never fails.
Just it kind of feels as though we've had all that energy and now we're just standing still.
Yeah. The game isn't finished. Don't worry.
There's no draws here.
Imagine. Sorry, it's a draw.
That's it. Both teams, well done. You're
Both
both
teams
through.
are
We have
through.
9 teams. We have 9 teams in.
It's just awkward then, isn't it?
Yeah. To get into the next phase, you both have to beat Furia.
At the same time.
No. Fury and BDS at the same time.
That doesn't sound like a fun day, does it?
No. Or maybe you could do like the team who gets through is determined by a 1v1 with the coaches.
Oh, that'd be good.
That'd be great.
Who are you putting your money on as a coach?
I think probably Julio now. I think that's the obvious one. He's won a few things, old Julio.
I believe that we are in a rehost right now. Hence
No, the stats.
no.
No.
No, everyone's KD.
No. Wait, was Turd positive? I think he was, wasn't he? Turd's gonna
I mean,
be
we can-
fuming.
We can make anyone anything at this point. We can say that anybody was positive. I was trying to think of someone who likely isn't positive in this game, but everyone's really good, so I
Cyber.
can't think of anybody.
Cyber wasn't positive, I'm pretty sure.
No, Cyber wasn't positive. Souls definitely was. Leader, was he positive?
I think so.
We haven't seen any cap cam from Leader this game so far.
No, he's moved away from that. But again, I think it's just the
What
way
do you
that
mean
they
he's moved away from it? He played it like 4 hours ago.
No, but as in like the way that they had been defending their their basement. They had been going more for like the kind of Vigil Mozzie kind of combination. So they've been playing more into the denial of information rather than burning down the clock, running away, and then hopefully that somebody just runs into one.
Which makes a lot of sense. I don't think that FaZe are the kind of team to fall victim to the cap cans. They're a little bit too systematic for that. They've got too much of a process. It is a bit of a cheap trick.
It's the second time we've actually seen both of these teams play against each other. The first time was in Atlanta. It was a 7-4 win for FaZe. So I suppose you can already see improvements. No, Bleed taking it to OT now. Still have a chance to win the game.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Oh, plenty of chance. Bleed starting things off on the defense in overtime then. That was the question I wanted answered at the start of all of this. The map continues to trend in the way it's been going. That bodes quite well for Bleed. It has been a while since they've been on the attack, and it has been a while since FaZe have been on the defense. Or the other way around. A while since Bleed have been on the defense, sorry, and a while since FaZe have been on the attack. 6 rounds to be exact. I don't think too much is going to have changed in that time, though. Reaps getting nice and cheeky with the Mozzie drone there. Actually got himself quite a nice bit of information. Ooh, might find himself a kill here if he's patient. That Maverick line could be devastating. Depends on if it's a bit of phantom pressure or if someone is going to rotate there and play that a little bit later on. Maybe the Maverick going to go and try and finish the job at opening that wall up. It is only dotty lines at the moment. You would need to fully join those up to get full value out of it.
Loading new magazine.
And it's scary lineup for FaZe. With a lot of very reactive operators where you have to be pretty switched on if you are Bleed. It's a very direct push. It starts to kind of shape up. You have the Blitz outside the main breach. The Maverick is there also. They're really focused in and trying to get control of the Animus room. See if they can stem their attack from there. This is where the site players really need to be switched on. You know, we're looking at Mentalist here. This is the pressure's going to be on him to see if he can hold them at bay, and even more so, just shot call really well. You know, say to the same guys, I need help here.
Hoven, full white flashed here. Is anyone going to push in off the back of it?
Oh!
Look at that play there. Vitaking and KDS. Blitz shield, you can hear it soaking up the bullets there. It isn't going to do him any favors in that engagement though, as Hoven, he's rotated himself down cargo and is able to pick Vitaking up. Vitaking just got caught a little bit too deep there, and that's the kit. Hoven, another great kill. 3 on the round for him here. The Candelas are still pinging off, but you can't see anything happening other than the Ying getting downed. Mentalist finishing him off, and Leader takes Handy down. A night and day difference there, Bleed. As soon as they get on that defense, they're dominating.
I mean, Hoven. Incredible. I mean, great shots also from both teams. Honestly. See the replays here. I want to see this again. Great shot from KDS. But then Hoven. This is just as crisp as anything. Readjustment. Picks up the kill. Hoven. He's feeling that round a lot, isn't he? And that kind of breaks the deadlock almost. You know, Bleed. Now they've got the, you know, they're ahead. They're 7-6. Haven't been ahead in a while, Ollie. Out in front, FaZe. They're the team who have to respond now again. But it really would not put it past me, Ollie, to see this go all the way.
Yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised at this point. It's obviously going to flip now, and it's going to be FaZe to go on the defense. Bleed to go on the attack. With what we've seen, Bleed's attacks haven't been great, and well, FaZe's attacks weren't great either. Both teams got 2 rounds on the attack in regulation, hence why we are in an overtime right now.
10 seconds left before insertion.
But some things do change round in the OT. You get a lot of time to think about it. You've seen the same tricks multiple times now. You've likely seen both sides a couple of times that you're going to play, so you are going to have a bit of a clearer idea as to how you're going to approach it. The approach in this instance is going to be a blitz. We do have the Thatcher Ace combination as well. It's quite interesting, isn't it, that FaZe have opted for the Maverick. FaZe love a Maverick as well. FaZe opted for the Maverick to deal with all the walls, and Bleed are just going a little bit more old school. They're going that Thatcher hard breach combination.
Oh, yeah, they know about the C4 trick, don't they? They're not idiots.
Exactly. They've been taking advantage of that C4.
Last time that Bleed had a really successful attack ollie up here was they just took it nice and slow. You know, slow and steady. They didn't really push the boat out. They didn't try and go quick. They just gave themselves as many options as they could. And then they seen the weak point and they execute onto it. I think it'll be a little bit more difficult, though, in terms of just getting the information with those mute jammers up and whenever you place them in doorways. For example, over towards Fish.
Drop the diffuser.
Causes issues. Bad start, though, for Bleed as Cyber's opened up with the opening C4, and already all I just think, yeah, it's going to be 7-7, isn't it? You know, there you go. There's their first blood that usually determines how it's going to go.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Bit of an engagement here. Cyber. Mirror window has been punched there, and the blitz is just on the other side of it. Bleed are just waiting for that right time to push through. Mentalist can't afford to push this on his own, though. He needs a little bit of support from somewhere. Whether that be from the breach, from the door, or even someone flanking up Fish. Pop flashes go out now as well, as just going to smoke things off for a time being. You can see Turd on that rotation. He's likely going to rotate himself in and either get into the top of Fish or join Mentalist on those rafters. Just needs to perform a bit of drone work before he does that. Hoven is going to be the player that's pushing up, so it's going to be a double push here from Hoven and Turd. They should be able to get away with one here, and there it is, a beautifully timed double peek. But unfortunately, they line up. He will be able to get the revive there. Hoven, he picks himself up a second, but unshielding. Oh, it's horrible to watch in a moment like that. Bleed. They just weren't able to get past that hurdle. They didn't have the bodies in the right place, and FaZe were very quick to react. There were only a couple of angles that they really needed to hold there. 25 seconds and 4 kills to find. Hoven. Do get a feeling we're going to round 15.
Oh, you think? What gives you that impression?
I don't know. I've just got a little feeling, like a little...
Well, let's see if you're right, Ollie.
Little feeling in my tummy,
Wow.
you know?
That's impressive. You're right.
That's crazy.
Oh. Well. What are we saying? How do we predict this?
One of these two teams is going to win.
You are just...
I would guess that it is going to be... I would honestly guess that it's going to be Bleed. Genuinely, based on the defenses that we've seen, both teams have really struggled on the attack. FaZe warmed into it. It took them a while. But that first round of overtime didn't look great, did it?
Shield deployed.
No.
Attackers have
The
discovered
thing is with Bleed, though, is that they have to go towards top floor. Basement's locked out. That's one thing we kind of say is going in favor of FaZe, is they don't have to go through the basement. Still, it's a site that the Bleed can defend. We know that.
Left before insertion.
Mirror windows come in,
5 seconds to go.
as usual, in Bleed fashion. But one thing that you have to notice about Bleed, though, is that they've really foregone any wall denial. You know, whenever they're bringing in bandits, for example, and try and go for, like, not just the denial, but even, like, the C4 trick, you know, if a Maverick was to come in. So, straight away, I think, for FaZe, they would have looked at that lineup and maybe spot out and say, yeah, there's no bandits on the wall, it should be quite free just to open up. Don't even need to bring in, like, a Thatcher, we can just go in with the Thermite and the The ace, of course.
Meeting with Selma.
Yeah, the Wamai's a weird one, isn't it? Maybe bringing it in for the
It's
for the
in
Ying.
for the Ying. Yeah, Ying has been pretty dominant, hasn't it, for FaZe?
Stay clear.
They've been bringing that quite a few times. Makes sense.
Drone up and running.
Especially for, like, electrical. Like, even just catching flashbangs for the player jumping in for the electrical window after flashing the guy in electrical.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's going to help out a lot.
Drop the bomb diffuser. Attackers have recovered their
Absolutely. Hoven there is going to be grateful for any Wamai discs placed around him. They have the leader all the way downstairs as well. He's rocking the Valkyrie, so can kind of get himself out of harm's way and just see if there's anything he can find out on the cameras. You're going to hear the Candela go through there. That one will be sent in, I think, toward the garage area, toward that catwalk. FaZe definitely stalling out on time a little bit here, especially considering, as you mentioned, Demo, there's only mute jammers. There's no electrification, nothing that's really going to slow you down from getting that wall open. See, an impact was used to keep that window clear, and second one will be shot off, but it's going to be shot off a little bit too late. Turd will find one onto Handy. Not sure why he jumps into the camera there. Candela comes in. No big initial push off the back of that mirror window opening, though, and the Candelas, whilst they're ringing out, we're not seeing anything really come of them. It's going to be Reaps to take Cyber down, and a double dip onto Cyber. Look at him go. He's now down to the pistol. He might even have Vitaking out of the breach at this rate. Turd going to close it up. Flawless round to finish things off. What a series. What a map from Bleed.
Reaps, just take a bow. Give him all the trophies of the year. Give him everything. Unbelievable.